Okay, welcome to this video about Remote Writer. Remote Writer is a browser-based word processing application that allows you to create documents via your web browser and work either online or offline and collaborate on these documents with others. We'll assume for the purpose of the video that you've actually visited the Remote Writer site and that you've downloaded the latest version, and maybe you've visited the help page and you've found out what Remote Writer is and how to install it, and that you've also installed the other components such as Google Gears. So if we visit the local installation of Remote Writer, and we'll sign on with the default user ID and password. Okay, the first thing that happens when you sign on is that Remote Writer talks to the server and obtains all the program code and downloads it, so that should you be offline, not connected to the internet, you'll still be able to use Remote Writer to create and edit your documents. These links at the top here allow you to categorize your documents. Each letter is used to show all documents beginning with that letter, but if you want to see a list of all documents in the system, then it's this link here that you'd want to choose. At the moment, because this is a fresh installation, we've got no documents at all, so let's go and create a new document. Okay, so we'll just type in some example content. And when we create a new document, we're prompted to save that document. So we'll say, yes, we want to save this, and we'll give it a name. Let's just call it a test. Right, and we'll now see that a document's been saved, and we can continue editing with this document. So let's start applying some style information. We can apply both inline styles and paragraph or block level styles. So for example, we'll treat this as a heading, and we'll treat this as verse, and we'll even use an inline style to say that we've got a personal name in the content here. Right, and then we can save that. If we visit the history of this document, we'll be shown all the revisions we've got in the system, and we can compare two revisions, and we can see between them what the changes are. In this case, although it looks a little bit cryptic, we're actually seeing that we've added the style information between the two versions. If we go back to our revisions page, we can actually view a particular revision, and we can step through the earlier or later revisions, and we can choose to revert to a particular one should we so want to. Right, so if we go back to this content, and we'll just make a small change here. Now if we visit the revisions page and look at the last two revisions, we'll see the change we've just made. Right, to give you a better example of the use of the style information, I'll use this example I prepared earlier. Make a new document, and I'll cheat and I'll use the code window and paste this code in here. Right, now we can see we've got a document which has got quite a bit of style information. We've got a heading, we've got a verse, we've got personal names, names of ships, names, geographic names, names of works, organisations, affiliations, etc. So we're starting to create a document here which is quite rich in semantic content, and the whole reason for Remote Writer really is to allow users to use a quite user-friendly interface, that of a word processing application, but to create a document which has got quite a lot of meaning and hopefully structure, which can be then programmatically used and transformed into other content or other documents, such as XML or possibly structured content for a website, or anything you can really think of, I guess. We've got the features of TinyMCE, the JavaScript-based editor. So there's a few here loaded by default, such as the character map for all those hard-to-find characters. But there's many other features of TinyMCE that are not installed by default, but can be easily installed, including things such as a spell checker. If we save this document, and we'll call it a new test. And now, if we go and have a look at our index, we'll see we've got two documents, and we can compare, well, we can list one or both documents, and if we want to, we can print them out. Whenever you go into one of the editing screens, the screen goes dark for just a second or two, and what's happening there is that the local installation of Remote Writer is synchronizing with the server, and it's sending any content that's been generated locally in the last little while back to the server, and also getting from the server any documents that other users have created and have made their way to the server. The idea being that Remote Writer should have quite a up-to-date version of all the content for the application, so that if you go offline, you'll be able to work with these documents, and then when you go back online, say you go back into the office or connect at home, then you'll be able to synchronize those documents back to the server. We've got a admin page over here where we can see details of authors in the system. We can create new authors, change passwords, and we can also determine whether we want to work online or offline and force a synchronization with the server. There's also a log page which shows us details of the synchronization with the server. These last two pages, the log page and the admin page, are only available to users that are created with administrator rights. So that's really Remote Writer in a nutshell. I hope you find it useful, and if there's any questions, suggestions, problems, please feel free to use the discussion group on the Remote Writer website.